So the password or getting someone password, is it hard? Actually, it depends about the person himself. Is he using a complex password or not? And even if he's using a complex password, you still have some technique that allow you to get the password. Now, we start by identifying on which device or what kind of password I'm looking for. So for instance, if we are going to, or if we need actually to get the password for a router, okay, so before trying to compromise people passwords that using this router, maybe I need to check the default account. Actually, before doing that, according to, or the best methodology in password cracking, start by guessing. So when I'm trying to crack a password, before using any tools or any technique, I should start by guessing the password. And there was a paper published recently showing you like about 80 passwords. Those are some of the most used passwords. So if we go and check for the most common password, you'll be able to figure out a lot of password. Most common password. So you're gonna find that things like password, like from 1 to 9, from 1 to 8, from 0 to 9. A lot of password we usually start by using them because it seems that people password behavior are very predictable. So you can see that those are the most 25 password I use, from 1 to 6 password, from 1 to 5, from 1 to this kind of password. Football, monkey. So the first thing I should try first, if I need to compromise a password, is to first try to guess the password or try some guessing. Especially if you know some information about whoever you try to crack his password, it may help, like the name of his family member, their date of birth. A lot of people are using that. So we usually start by guessing. Then we start by the second step, if this will not work, because not necessarily this way will be working. But next step will be to use the default password. Let's assume that I need to crack through a router. And I know that the network administrator has a password for doing that. But usually most of the device has more than one default password. So you can get that from a lot of websites, like a site like this one. Let me go back to Google. Routerpassword.com. So routerpassword.com. So if you check this website, this is one of the websites, you can see that it includes a lot of default password. And you notice that, so you click here, you're going to find the menu full of password. D-Link and Cisco, and D-Link is very common, so if you go there and click find password, you're going to find a lot of accounts. And most of us, when we get, like for instance, in our home router, when you get your home router to use the internet and you configure it, you only change the admin account. But do you know that the router may have like about 6 other default accounts that you are not aware of? So such website will help you doing that. Okay, this is all D-Link router, or you can find Cisco. Another website, it's called defaultpassword.com. And this is not just related to the router, but actually it's related to any device. So if we go here, the site name is defaultpassword.com. And the site is blocked from where I'm recording those videos. So I'm going to show you an image how to open. And I believe if you go through the whole course, you'll be able to understand how usually this blocking is bypassed. So this is how the site look like. It has an alphabetic there. So you click on the first letter of the device. It could be a router, it could be any other device. It will show you all the default account. Now let me show you a real live scenario, a real case actually. I saw that happen myself. Now someone did send an email for a victim using the tracing that we explained on the reconnaissance section. So he sent an email and he used a trace to be able to get the victim IP whenever he opens this email. You remember this tracing, you don't need to attach anything or to put any link. It's just a way where you can go to some of those websites like readnotify.com or confirm.to or this kind of site. And you create a free account, and then whenever you send an email, it will be traced. So he sent an email traced, and when the victim opens the email, he received an email. The hacker received an email telling him that the victim opened his email from this specific location, from this specific area, from this specific country, and this is his IP. And this just in case victim, did deny that he received the email. It's a way for like an evidence that someone opened an email. Anyway, you received this IP. What happened if you took this IP that you received and you put it inside the browser? What will happen? It will take you, because this is the IP of the router. This is not the IP of the machine, of the router that he's using. So it will take you the router IP page. It will take you to the configuration page where you will be requested to log in using username and password. So you know that router, D-Link router, has an username and password by the name of admin. And definitely I'm going to assume that the victim was wise enough to change this password. But do you know that this specific kind of router, like D-Link for instance, has other account, more than one. They have an account under the name of user. They have an account, they have like 4 more accounts. And most people are not aware of it. So if you log in with one of those accounts, you'll be able to reach his router configuration page. And if you reach someone router configurations, that's it. Whatever is behind this router, it becomes reachable for you. So I just want to show you how easy it is to compromise the system. It's not even require technical skills. So using the default password and default account, this is actually the first way of trying to compromise the system. Now, what if this did not work? What if I was not able to get the password using this way? Now we're going to use some tools, and I'm going to use 2 specific tools, one on this video and another one on an upcoming video. The tools I'm going to use here, it's called the Brutus. Now Brutus allow you to do 2 different kinds of attack that you need to be aware of. We have an attack under the name of dictionary attack, where what you are doing exactly, you get a dictionary file. So for instance, Brutus comes with its own dictionary. Here you go. It has all the English word. It's like the dictionary that corrects the misspelling word in Word or Excel. And what he will do is that he will try one by one, word by word, until he reaches the password. So if I open here the program, I can see first I need to identify which machine I need to crack. This is the number 1. It could be a computer or it could be a website. Then I need to identify the password, the service, because the password is not it should be related to a specific service. Password is not in general on the computer. So if you need to crack a password on a website, so the password is on the HTTP. HTTP has a password. If you need to crack a password on a telnet, so the password is on telnet. If you need to crack a password on the shared folder, so the password is on the NetBIOS. So here I need to choose a service, and you notice that when I choose a service here, the port will be changed. So because this is the port that he will use to connect and try to crack the password. So I'm going to use this one, and I used my local machine just to prove the concept. And then here we're going to notice we have the Word file that I just explained. You can change it, and a lot of Word are there. And one of the video I showed you, actually it will be one of the upcoming video. I'm going to show you a lot of website, actually one of the main website from where you can download a lot of word lists. It could be a regular word list, or it could be a movie name word list, or it could be man name or woman name word list, and so on. So we're going to use this one. And then you know that if you need to compromise a password, you need to get the username as well, because any system have username and password. So if you need to know if you need to get the password and you are not aware of the username, it's useless. If you are aware of the username, it will save you a lot of time. And how can I get a valid username? Just check the previous video, enumeration. You can enumerate a system to be able to get valid account. And do not depend that, you know, some of the account will be built in like admin or guest, or because a lot of people change that by default. So here you need to specify the user. So we can go here and I can click on user, and if you check this file, you're going to find the most common user. Open admin, administrator, backup, root. But if you are able to get one valid user that you are sure that it exists from, you know, any techniques that you use like enumeration in the previous video, you can replace those with one valid user, because even those are the most common user, but most probably you will not find any of them, because a lot of people are changing the default account. And then once I selected those, I click on scan, and it will scan and it will give me the accounts that, so for instance, you find here user, the username and admin, and there is another account backup without any. So this is one way for doing that, and this is called the dictionary attack, and this will be only valid in case the victim has an English word password. So if you're using something like football or password or amazing or awesome or all this word, it will be captured. But what if he's using MMXXYY? It's English letter, but it doesn't have a meaning, so he will not be able to solve that. What if it's a number? What if it's a number and letter? So this attack can only work with a dictionary. It's a dictionary attack. Okay. Now using the same tools, I can transfer that to something called a brute force attack. So from here, instead of word list, I can click here and I can choose brute force. And in brute force, this is a different case. He's gonna try letter by letter and number by number until he gets the password. That's why this field has been disabled, because, you know, no use for a specific file. He will try everything. Then I can go to range and I can put some specifications that will make the process easier. So I can tell him I'm assuming that the password could be from 8 to 10, for instance, character, or from 6 to 6 character. I'm assuming that he may have a digital or capital or small or letter or special character. Or I can even, if I know some information about this guy, I can put his name, his date of birth, and his family name and their date of birth. I can put them here, and he will do different combinations until he gets the password. So you can do it this way, but the problem with this way is that it will depend about how strong the password on the victim. So if he's using a complex password, and complex here I mean more than 8 character, has capital and small and special character, this program will take long time. You know, I'm talking about years. So it's not an effective way if it's a complex password. These tools can be used effectively if it's a dictionary attack password. But you should not ignore it, because you'll be actually surprised that a lot of people are using very weak password. And as I told you before, people behavior are very predictable. For instance, you'll notice that most people that you'll be dealing with, especially regular employee and maybe in some cases IT people, are using one password for all accounts. That means if you compromise one, you'll be able to use it in all other accounts. A lot of people are using passwords that is easy to memorize, like their family member name or a date of birth or the same username or password or from 1 to 9. So you should start by trying that first, and then we should move to another way. And as I mentioned on the previous video, this is just one way for getting the password. So let's move to another tools in the next video.